Hi guys, so I am here in St. Vincent's Cemetery here in Montmartre in Paris, and I'm just going around this beautiful cemetery here finding some notable graves, and I came across one here which is very interesting. And this is the grave here of RMS Titanic survivor Leontine, known as Ninette. And she was born in Paris. Her occupation was listed as a nightclub singer. And she boarded the Titanic at Cherbourg with her maid Emma Sagesser. She occupied cabin B35. She was also the mistress of millionaire Benjamin Guggenheim. Now you probably would recognize that name, Guggenheim, if any of you have watched the movie Titanic. He's the guy in the movie where he's dressed in his best, and somebody asked him, does he want to go on one of the boats, and he said, we're dressed in our best and prepared to go down as gentlemen. And he said he wanted a brandy also. So that's who Mr. Guggenheim's mistress is buried here. So Benjamin Guggenheim purchased tickets for her maid and his valet, Victor Gigolo. The Guggenheim party all boarded the Titanic at Cherbourg, France on the 10th of April 1912 and were bound for New York City. She was 24 years old. Benjamin made certain that Leontine and her maid were safely boarded onto Lifeboat 9. Then he and his valet, Victor, changed into their best evening wear, and then you know the rest, as I was just mentioning before that. So basically, like, the other kind of information about it is, when the time came for her to sail back to France aboard the Adriatic in early May, she was so flustered and upset that she left both her steamer and train tickets behind her in New York. In later life, it is said that Madame Aubert held parties during the 20s that were ended by police. Leontine Pauline Aubert died on the 29th of October 1964, aged 77 years old. So we'll just read the inscription on it here, guys. So here we have Madame Jean Aubert, 1863 to 1932. And you can just see the name there, Ninette is underneath that then. Aubert, 1887 to 1964. Rescapé du Titanic. So she's Titanic survivor. I'm presuming that means in French. We'll just go around here. And there's just another Charlotte, 1891 to 1953. So I presume they're all other members of her family. So just that I'd stop and look at this one. Very interesting. The Mr. Guggenheim, the millionaire, who was very much portrayed in the movie. His mistress buried here in France. So there you go, guys. So another interesting grave find. This here is the grave of Michel Georges Alfred, who was born in 1931 and passed away in 2020, known as Michou, was a French singer, drag artist, and owner of Chez Michou in Montmartre. He was born in Amiens. He was a French director, famed for his somewhat risque shows in Paris, famous Montmartre Cabaret district, and he died aged 88. Became an international reference when it inspired the film La Cage aux Folles, and I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, later remade in English as The Birdcage. He was better known as the Man in Blue for the colours he was famously decked out in, top to toe. He was described as a mythical figure in Paris nightlife. At the time, he expressed his wish to be buried in a blue coffin, and that the cabaret he created should close down upon his death. When I disappear, I want people to remember Chez Michou Club and say, this is where Michou gave people joy. So there's an interesting grave, guys. The Man in Blue, liked to dress in blue. And you can just see on his grave here, we have 1931 to 2020. And on his grave you can see the bust of himself wearing a pair of shades. We have this cool little thing down here holding a glass of wine with his suit on. And some blue flowers are left here as well. So rest in peace, Michou. So I just found this very interesting grave here. It's meant to look like a house and a window, and there's people looking out the window on it. So we'll go over and read what it says on it. Looks like the family name is Patton. But it's very, very interesting. Look at that. So you even have the tiled roof on top, and you have two people looking out the window. Actually kind of looks a bit scared, kind of scary looking. You can see the guy's eye looking out the window, then you have the woman down the bottom here. Interesting all the same. So it's the Patton family. I don't see any dates or anything around it. Just a very, very interesting one. It's almost like one of those graves you'd see, like a dollhouse grave, but interesting. So we'll just go down here and see what else we can find in St. Vincent's Cemetery. Georges Guignard, artist, 1861 to 1935. Anna Lucy, 1867 to 1956. So it's a small cemetery. Here, it's not that big. You can see it kind of goes off up there. Starts at kind of the top and comes down. Another one here. Brabant family. Like a flame on top. The Boussaz family. Nice statue. So there's another one just up here. I'll bring you up and show you in a couple of seconds, but I just want to go to this one here first. It's a beautiful sculpture statue, and it looks like here it's the final resting place of Madame Grillon, 1827 to 1909, and Jean, 1908 to 1910. We can just see this one here. I hope I can show you, because the sun is kind of in the way. Look at that. So it's like a woman that's holding up another woman in mid-air. Statue. There's a lot of hills here. A lot of hills. So the other one I want to show you is just across the way. And down the bottom we have the woman and the man. So this is George Charles Bieber, 1904. So I looked and find a grave for this grave, and doesn't seem to be any information or if it's a notable person or anything, but I'll look more into it if I can find something. But it's a beautiful grave all the same. Look at that. And you can just see at the side there, these little handles. Almost looks like a coffin goes in there or something. Maybe this is the name of the sculpture here. He's holding a book in his hand. You can see he has his suit and waistcoat on. Looking out, pondering about life. And then of course you have a couple of these old vaults. Quinson family. Kind of dark in there, you won't see it much. It's just kind of like stained glass in there. So that's it, guys. Just a little walk around here to show you a couple of interesting graves along the way in St. Vincent's Cemetery. Beautiful cemetery. Lovely trees surrounding it. So for me here, guys, take care, God bless, and if you like this content, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, and I'll see you all on the next adventure.